Look at this, I haven't even started yet and I've spilt my coffee. Hello, how's it going? Welcome back and Happy New Year. I hope everybody had a great time and I hope you had some really good Christmas presents as well. Today, I've got something rather special to show you. But before I do, I want to show you something else. On my Tamiya T3-01 Type E, I had a Mercedes 190 Evo 2 body shell. Now I have a Mercedes 190 Evo 2 body shell. Only it's silver, not black. And it has a small spoiler. This is supposed to be a sort of replica of my real car. Now obviously it's not quite a replica because this is an Evo 2 and I don't have nearly £500,000 to spend on an Evo 2. I have a standard Mercedes 190e 2.5 16, but it's as close as I could get, and I will get number plates front and rear, and I'm also going to get my big exhaust as well. The reason being is this has to be as closely matched to my real car as possible, and to do with my wedding coming up in April. Won't give too much away because a lot of the guests don't know about it, but this will feature as a 3D printed wing. Someone at the racing 3D printed this for me, so it's a bit porous. It hasn't had the same finish as the rest of the car, although it's the same paint. I used Tamiya bright silver on everything: the body shell, the spoiler, the wheels. The wheels were white, and so I've painted them, and I've also used the flat clear on both the wheels and the spoiler. It's come out pretty well. It has, the wheels are perfect. It's such a good copy of my real car. It looks really good. I've painted the front grille. Not as good a shell as my last one, the other 190 Evo 2, purely because it doesn't have side repeaters and it doesn't have the little Mercedes badge that goes right on the top of the front grille, right there, little sticker. And it doesn't say 190e 2.5 16 on the back. For some reason those were missing, whereas the other ones had them. So I don't know why that would be, but I might see if I can find the other sticker sheet and then get those just to finish it off. It's not critical, but yeah, 190e sporting essentially my car, except not my car. Cool. Anyway, on to the main event. I have something rather special, as I said. This may be, and I'm not going to milk this because you've seen the thumbnail and the title of the video, but this might be the most Tamiya of all Tamiyas. The Tamiya-est Tamiya that has ever Tamiya'd. Now that's a big claim, but I'll defend it. Hold on, let me just get the box open. As you can see, this is completely sealed, so I've not had a chance to look at it yet. And I've forgotten how to close this knife. There we go. We have some Tamiya paper. We also have, oh yes, here it is. Let me get this out of the way just now. The Tamiya Dancing Rider. Oh yes, definitely in contention for the Tamiya-est Tamiya that's ever Tamiya'd, without doubt. I knew this existed and it's been out for a few years. I remember when it came out. I was aware of it when it first showed up. I was like, I looked at it on the forums and I was like, oh, that looks like a proper funky little Tamiya. You know, typical Tamiya coming out with something completely different, completely wacky, completely left field, but definitely a Tamiya without doubt. And yeah, I was like, oh, that looks cool, and then I moved on. It didn't look like my sort of thing. Yeah, it didn't grab me straight away. However, very recently, Tomley did a video on this exact model, although he had some limited edition colour scheme version, and it looked like a complete hoot. It looked really, really fun. So I thought, that actually does look more my thing than I previously thought. And yeah, I couldn't help myself. There's the T3-01 chassis. There's a couple of models now that use this, but it's so Tamiya. What do I mean by that? Well, with a Tamiya, you often, especially on paper, but you often have something that isn't fantastic spec-wise or performance-wise. If you look at them on paper, they're usually quite basic. They don't have adjustable suspension. They don't have bearings. They usually have plastic bushings. I'm talking about most Tamiyas. Obviously, there are some higher-end ones. And they often don't have real oil-filled shocks. They've got plastic pogo sticks, and you think, oh, that's just a bit naff, isn't it? The lunchbox and the Midnight Pumpkin, they're perfect examples. Perfect examples, because you look at them on paper and you go, oh, that's not very good. And then you drive one, and you go, these are brilliant fun. I absolutely adore them. And they're brilliant fun at every speed. I mean, a Midnight Pumpkin or a lunchbox with the standard silver canned Tamiya brushed 540 motor, it probably maxes out about, I don't know, 13 miles an hour or something, is such a laugh. And yet, something like my Arma Vortex I used to own, 65 miles an hour, cold as a refrigerator. You know what I mean? Just whatever, wasn't really fussed. This is even more Tamiya than those. That's a big claim to be more Tamiya than a lunchbox, but I think it is. Other manufacturers have tried a lunchbox-esque thing. The Kyosho Madvan, for example, is like a lunchbox but slightly more serious. A lot more serious. Less silly. The HPI Wheelie King was also a little bit more serious, but same sort of thing. Short wheelbase, made for wheeling, big stupid tires. This is even more Tamiya than that. I mean, again, the spec isn't great. It's got a 370 sized brushed motor. It's very slow. It doesn't have oil-filled shocks. It does have plastic bushings. It's so wacky, because that's the thing about Tamiyas. They may be low spec, but when you build them, you realize how just wacky and interesting. They're always interesting. How interesting they are. And this one, the servo doesn't even turn the front wheel, or the front wheels in most models. No, the servo opposes the rear axle and the chassis. So I don't know if it makes the rear axle do this or the chassis do that, but either way, they oppose each other. And the door's just gone. Hold on. Well, that was bad timing for the delivery guy to appear. Anyway, this doesn't steer with the servo in the front. It makes everything flop around like that. So the axle goes one way and the chassis goes the other. It just opposes them, basically. The front wheel is loose, for want of a better term. It flops around like that. It's essentially gravity fed, the front wheel, the steering. So when it leans that way, it flops that way. And when it leans this way, it flops that way. And you look at that. If someone told you that and they looked at the spec on paper, they'd be like, this is rubbish. I mean, it sounds toy grade almost. But in typical Tamiya fashion, it's so effective. It's so good, so much fun. And that crazy design, it works really well. You see some of the footage on the release video, the sort of Tamiya's own promo video, tearing around a track. They look fantastic. And again, not fast, but it's fun from 0 miles an hour all the way up to its maximum speed of probably 14, 15, you know, not much, but it's good fun, and especially if you've got a group of these. So this might be the ultimate RC expression of greater than the sum of its parts and fun at any speed. And I think possibly the Tamiya-est of Tamiyas. If you look at it on the side here, it's a sort of motorcycle-esque, I mean obviously it's a tricycle, but it's sort of motorcycle-esque side profile. It's got these, where is it, somewhere over here. It's got self-righting, so the little arms are out, and then when it leans, you lean out the servo and it pushes against the ground and pushes it back up again. Just weird, but actually they don't fall over as much as you'd think. They just look really, really good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to building this one. I've just remembered looking at it, you need to paint the driver. I have paint for the body, but I forgot about that. Well, it's fine. We'll sort it. It'll be good. We'll move on from that. No problem. Yeah, you don't drivers. It's fine. I mean, look at that art. Look at that art. Look at it. You can have that as a poster in your man cave. That'd be cool. Anyway, now I'm a Tamiya fan, but I'm not a hardcore Tamiya fan like some people. Some of the proper fanboys. I've seen some people, and I think it's a bit weird, but some people, you know, if you're building a Tamiya, they insist that everything must be Tamiya. Tamiya shocks, there must be Tamiya wheels and tires, there's got to be Tamiya electronics. I get that, I mean, that's all well and good. But then I've seen things like, oh, if you want to make it towing a trailer, you can't use like a Brooder trailer, it's got to be a Tamiya trailer, and it gets a bit weird. You know, I'm not that fussy. My coffee's getting, have I spilled it again? It's getting more spilly. Anyway, so, but I do get it, and I do like keeping it in-house with Tamiya as much as possible. So I guess a little bit has rubbed off on me. So I have tried to keep it as Tamiya as possible. This Carson Reflex radio system, now, reason being is Carson come in a lot of the ready-to-run Tamiyas. However, I did use a Carson stick system, the Reflex Pro 3.1 or whatever it is. Use it for this, for the T3-01 that's up on the top shelf, and it's garbage. It is terrible. It's so poorly made, and there's so much wobble in the thumbsticks. So the throttle thumbstick has got left and right wobble, and the left and right steering one has got up and down wobble. It's awful. I'm hoping this is better. What we will see, this has been opened before and recellotaped. That's not a good sign. Let's have a look. hopefully it'll be alright. Yeah, this has definitely been opened and resealed. Hope it's not used. Don't think Tamco would do that. That looks pretty brand new. A lot smaller than I expected. A lot smaller than I. Holy crap! Oh. There's a okay. You can No worries. Yeah. False alarm. How do you? What do you? It's got to be that way. There we go. So there it is. Very light, very small. I suppose that goes with the aesthetic, doesn't it? It goes with that sort of thing. It feels a lot better than the stick radial, the Carson Reflex Pro, whatever it's called. Yeah, nice foamy wheel. Doesn't rattle. Doesn't feel too loose. You know, considering you've just slot the two things together, it feels quite snug. What have you got here? Steering and throttle trim, of course. You also have channel 3. Good. And reverse channel. This just says reverse. So do you need to reverse the one you pressed last? Because how do you reverse either the throttle or the steering? So it just says rev, just reverse button, one button. So you press the steering and then you press the button, or you whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's the last input. So if you've done whatever, hopefully it'll be in the right direction, and I don't need to worry about it. So yeah, it feels okay actually. When I first saw it, I thought, oh no, what is this toy grade tat? But you know, hopefully the range will be good. Hopefully the are good enough. I mean, it's not going big distances, and hopefully it has a decent response. It's not some sort of input lag, which some of the cheap stuff has. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, that surprised me actually, but actually, as long as it works fine, it's appropriate for this sort of thing. Quite a fat, chunky receiver considering, but not got a big footprint, so it's all right. Receiver's a 4-channel, surprisingly, but there you go, little receiver. Carson Reflex. Forgot I ordered that. I was expecting something different. I was expecting that rebranded e-tronics with the orange instead of the blue. Anyway, here is a Hobbywing 1060, which doesn't sound very Tamiya, but it's a Tamiya branded Hobbywing 1060. I don't know where this has come from. Maybe some RTR models have got a Hobbywing in them or something, but it's like a bulk order thing, and it has THW instead of, you know, in front of the 1060, so it's a Tamiya code. I expect that's a Tamiya sticker on it, but there isn't. Hobbywing THW 1060 RTR, but it is Tamiya branded somehow, and it's black rather than red, or black rather than black and red. I mean, the 1060 is a perfectly good little ESC, and it probably would have been my go-to. Might be a bit big for that, or maybe I'm better off a 1625. We'll see. Good. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. The motor, again, going for Tamiya. It comes with a little silver can 370. I'm going for the torque tuned 370, just a little bit more performance. I didn't want to go brushless. There's very little point. It's got plastic gears, so lots of power will strip it out. Tomley made his brushless, but it barely cracked 20 miles an hour, or I can't remember what it was. It wasn't quick. This will be slightly slower, but not by much. And again, how much power do you want to put through it? How much speed does it need? Not much. It's very small. It's very nimble. It's about slinging it around. It's not about speed runs. So that'll be very nice. What I might do is fire it all up out of the car and see if I can hear an RPM difference between the included silver one and this torque tuned, just to see, you know, is it much quicker? I mean, I won't give you any numbers, but you can hear a pitch difference sometimes. And finally, the colour of the body shell. I'm not going box art because it's silver and it's understated. No, I wanted something leery, so I've gone for this really, really bright orange. What do they call it? Fluorescent orange. I thought it was called neon orange, but it's PS24 anyway. Yeah, it's going to have a leery paint job on it, because of course it's going to have a look at it. Look at it. Look at that. Look there. Look at. I dropped it. I dropped the receiver. Look at it. Look. It's silly. It's left field. It's wacky. It's funky. This is open. It's never been sprayed, but there's usually a film around it. Anyway, yeah, I think it'll be good fun, and hopefully you do too. I'm going to pick up my receiver. How much have I spilt? That'll be fine. I'm going to have to cut the Tamiya plug off this and solder on a Dean's plug, because I'll be running 2S LiPo. I'm hoping my 2S LiPo in my little hang long truck that I built is the right size for it. This usually takes double A's, but screw that, we're not going double A's. You might be thinking, oi, what about the servo? Right, so I've got a servo sitting in stock. It's an e-Tonics item, plastic geared. It was actually out of my Outlaw, and it was beginning to sort of struggle a little bit in the Outlaw, but the Outlaw's a lot bigger and heavier than that. Hopefully it's okay, so we'll see. If I need to get a new servo, I'll get a new servo. And where is it? I am going to give it a bearing kit. Definitely going to give it a bearing kit. I was going to get the Tamiya bearings because I'm going Tamiya everything, Tamiya paint, Tamiya associated radio gear, Tamiya branded speed controller, Tamiya motor. But the Tamiya bearing kit was more than twice the price of rcbearings.co.uk, and no better. I mean, RC Bearings do really good bearings, hence the name, RC Bearings, what they specialise in, and you get a free sticker. So, you know what? Good, I use them for everything basically, so why not use it for this as well? I think it was £8 plus delivery, including a sticker from rcbearings.co.uk, and £24 plus delivery for the Tamiya bearings. Yeah, you're alright. Nah, you're fine. So, yes, there we are. It's going to be an extremely, it's going to be an extremely unusual build, an extremely fun build, and an extremely Tamiya. So, look forward to that, and I'll catch you next time. Take care, and see you later. We should unwrap it, shouldn't we? Definitely should. So we'll do that. Why not? Do a little bit of an unboxing. I mean, you're not going to see much because it's a kit, but I'm curious to see what's in the box, what the kit looks like, how much of the kit there is. See, look, recommended. What does it say here? Oh, it's in German. You can get a set for it to give you everything you need. Obviously, there's double A's and stuff. We don't want that. You can get a little 3000 milliamp hour. I'm guessing nickel metal hydride it is. Little Carson servo, little Carson radio gear, Carson charger. So yes, Carson is very heavily associated with Tamiya, hence why I got the Carson radio gear here, although it's a different one. But anyway, let's have a look inside. It looks so cool. I can't believe I forgot you got to paint the driver, but you know what, I was excited. It's on the way, and I was like, yeah, you know Tamiya. There you go, look at this. There's the body shell. Look at that. It's small, but it's not tiny. You know, there's the headlights to give you a sort of idea. It's definitely smaller than I think it's probably 1/8 scale, isn't it? Something like that. 1/8 scale. And so it's smaller than 1/10 car or truck, but that's cool. That's really cool. Here are the tyres, obviously 3 of them. It's a trike, little sort of grooved slick at the front and slightly more standard road tread at the back. Let's have a look at these. Yeah, they feel like typical Tamiya tyres, not the stickiest compound in the world. Absolutely. How much do I want to spill today? Not the stickiest in the world, but not bad. You know, it's what I'm going to do, overwhelm with the amount of sheer power going through it? No. So, there's the front. The front's a little bit bigger diameter. I think the inner diameter is the same, but just it's a taller profile, like a motorcycle tire, tall in the middle for leaning. More a road car tire at the back, motorcycle at the front. Yeah, it's not super grippy. It feels fine though. Feel good enough. How many pieces have we got? There's 2 parts trees in there. 1 for the driver. That's 3. No, there's 4. So that's 4 in total. 5 parts trees, and then smaller bits. There's a few in there as well, some smaller pieces. Wheels are in there. They're white. They look pretty cool. Motors in there. You get some cable ties. There's the gears, plastic gears. I believe the pinion is just a push fit, but it'd be very snug. You can see there through the bag, possibly plastic bushings, which is why I've gone for a bearing kit. aerial tube. Actually, look at that. How silly would that look? You know, let me know what you think. But that might be just silly enough that it's worth fitting an aerial tube, even though your 2.4 GHz system doesn't need it. Just because it's like an old-fashioned whip aerial. You know what I mean? The bright orange body shell and a big sticky up aerial that's unnecessary. I might. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Dancing Rider stickers. I think the silver will look really good with the bright orange. Maybe not so much the red. Maybe not so much the red. Star unit. Star unit, it says. But there's plenty of silver, plenty of white and black. That'll all go very well with the bright orange, so that's good. And you can see on this side you've got the transfers for the windows. The masks for the windows. Cool. Not much more in there. Instructions. Yeah. Awesome sauce. All looks good. All looks fun. All looks enjoyable. Forgot about that. Drat. But hey. Right, there we are then. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.